Opening scene, a futuristic city skyline with drones delivering food, people eating in glass-enclosed cafes, and gardens growing vertically on buildings. Voiceover. Stop scrolling and imagine this for a minute. In the near future, the food on your plate may not come from farms, animals, or the oceans as we know them today, but it could be cultivated in labs, grown from fungi, or even produced by microorganisms. This is not science fiction. Welcome to the year 2025, and let me show you why investing in alternative proteins could be the game changer you've been waiting for. Scene switch, a close-up of sizzling plant-based bacon frying in a pan, followed by milk-free ice creams on conveyor belts. Voiceover. Alternative proteins are disrupting the food industry faster than you'd imagine. Let's put it simply. These are proteins made from plants, cells, or fermentation processes that mimic animal-based meat, dairy, or eggs. In 2025, the global market for alternative proteins is estimated to exceed a staggering $17 billion, so why the hype? Why should you become part of this booming industry? Let's unpack it all. Scene transition, a montage of packed gyms, diet-conscious millennials, and a nutritionist in a lab. Voiceover. First and foremost, consumer demand. Health trends are shifting like never before. Millennials and Gen Z are the driving forces behind exponential growth in the demand for plant-based and alternative protein products. Think about it. Newer generations are health-conscious, more eco-focused, and downright adventurous when it comes to food. They also place great emphasis on sustainability. Here lies the golden opportunity. Scene shift, a visual infographic outlining traditional agriculture versus lab-grown meat emissions. Voiceover. Traditional farming methods consume around 70% of global fresh water and contribute significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. Meanwhile, alternative proteins require less water, emit far fewer CO2 emissions, and occupy significantly less land. In fact, lab-grown meat can reduce agricultural greenhouse gas emissions by up to 92%. Scene transition. Scientists in white coats working inside a cutting-edge biotechnology lab. Voiceover. Advancements in lab technology have made this future possible. Companies like Beyond Meat, Impossible Foods, and Eat Just are spearheading research that has turned fermentation, tissue engineering, and cell culture into profitable methods of creating meat and dairy substitutes. Picture this. The cost of creating lab-grown meat used to be $325,000 per burger in 2013. Today, it's projected to be at just $10 by 2025. That's affordability knocking on your door. Scene zoom, a high-tech supermarket aisle labeled alternative proteins. Voiceover. Many might argue that alternative proteins are interesting but niche. However, the reality is that they are entering mainstream markets quicker than ever. McDonald's launched the McPlant Burger, and KFC introduced chicken-free nuggets across multiple continents. These are no longer small, trendy food items, but products invading supermarket shelves and restaurant menus globally. Scene switch, a panel of investors at a vibrant conference discussing food tech. Voiceover. And here's why it's exciting for savvy investors. The alternative protein sector has already attracted over $5 billion in investments in the last 2 years alone. Major food corporations like Nestlé and Tyson Foods are doubling down on R&D for their plant-based food lines. Startups are taking up the lion's share of funding, and believe me, early investors will be the winners, reaping exponential returns. Scene transition, a smiling parent serving plant-based chicken nuggets at dinner. Voiceover. But here's the kicker. Traditional food companies are not just competitors, they are collaborators. They have deep wallets and global distribution pipelines to scale these innovations. Whether it's plant-based proteins or precision fermentation, entering the market in partnership with established names minimizes risk while maximizing reach. This translates to massive growth potential for their investors. Scene cut, a food technologist introduces lab-grown seafood alternatives. Voiceover. Now, it's time to consider the spectrum of innovation. Did you know that companies can now produce lab-grown salmon, shrimp and tuna? Sustainable, eco-friendly seafood is yet another frontier in alternative protein technology. And with overfishing depleting marine stocks, this could unlock markets worth trillions. Scene transition, profile of a successful young investor in their mid-20s. Voiceover. All of this is well and good, but how do you, sitting there with your phone or laptop, tap into this innovation wave? First, know where you're putting your money. Startups like Mosa Meats or Memphis Meats are making headlines for their lab-grown approaches, whereas giants like Oatly and Miyoko's are creating plant-based dairy breakthroughs. Options are endless. Hedge your bets wisely. Scene shift. Seamless integration of AI into protein production. Voiceover. It gets even crazier when you consider artificial intelligence. AI is playing a crucial role in optimizing fermentation cycles, protein folding, and even taste testing products using predictive analytics. Companies leveraging AI might just be the biggest winners. Think of it as the Tesla of food tech investments. Scene transition, urban gardens, and a futuristic rooftop lab in full swing. Voiceover. So as trends progress, where should you start as an investor? Keep these 3 strategies in mind. 1. Consumer demand will only increase, so look at long-term growth opportunities. 2. Pick industries mitigating environmental concerns while aligning with sustainability agendas. And 3. Innovation is the engine. Back companies solving big tech hurdles in food production. Scene dramatic ending. Kids in a classroom pointing to a floating hologram saying sustainable future. Voiceover. Alternative proteins aren't just a fad, they are the future of what we eat, how we think about sustainability, and where investors can grow serious wealth. By 2025, the conversations won't be about whether lab-grown meat or plant-based products will work. The question will be, are you ready to invest today? Closing frame. Text on screen says, keep exploring the future. Subscribe for more on sustainable investments.